Maybe she is great.
She is not Miss Universe.
I'm Gabby. That's Jordan.
Red flag, red flag.
I'm sure. I know I'm the villain in that story.
Hi, I'm Gabby. Wait, this isn't gonna work. Hi, I'm Gabby. Hi, I'm Jordan. And this is the Z-List Celebrities. Thanks for tuning in. I love it. Oh, you have another pair? Cool, give me those. I thought we only had one pair of glasses.
Sorry if that last episode got a little aggressive.
Well, we're out of order. The last episode was with a guest, actually. Regardless.
I just like how one got a little aggressive. Okay.
Hi, we're back. I'm sorry for that was chaotic.
Wait, good marketing idea, even though I hate marketing. You know what we should do? We should do like an amusement park with a lot of roller coasters that take the photos, and in every photo, we should have the glasses on like this.
I mean, I'm down, but that's going to be my worst day ever because I get so sick on roller coasters.
Do you not like roller coasters?
I used to, but then I developed like really bad like motion sickness, and now I can't do them. Also, I've had a neck injury like the last like 3-4 years, and it's just. But we could do like really, no matter what, all of those rides take pictures. We could do like the kid rides, and I could just
like the teacups.
Yeah.
New profile picture, us in the teacups.
Sorry for you. You're just coming along for this journey today. Today is a bonus episode for this month. We are steering away from crime. Now, today we wanted to give you a little bonus episode, and we wanted to talk ghost stories. Spooky.
Well, you have a ghost that lives here.
I do. So we kind of talked about him in another episode. His name's Harold.
Do you have a nickname for him?
Harold.
That's his name. Do you have a nickname?
Well, I mean, I named him Harold.
Harry,
so.
Big H.
Big H. Hey, Big H, show yourself. No, yeah.
She just knocks over.
Well, so I think he lives in the closets for the most part, which makes sense because the closets are original to the home, and they're like a really old like wood.
Okay.
So I've always kind of felt that way.
Wait, I know you don't own this house, you rent it, but are they required to disclose the same information?
What do you mean?
Like if someone died here?
I don't know how that works with renting. We know quite a bit about the house because when we first started renting, we told them we might be interested in buying it because we wanted to rent to buy. It only took us like living here 3 months to realize we did not need to buy this place.
Yeah.
There's like a hole in the floor. Everything leaks. The doorknobs fall off if you grab them sometimes.
It's not the house, it's Harold's.
It's well, it's like I said, it's a 109-year-old house, so like I don't expect much from it. But like I'm not gonna spend. They were gonna like probably end up asking like 400 or 500 for it, and it's not worth that. It's not worth that. It's just because this neighborhood's up and coming, and like people are overshooting this area. But anyway, so I love my house though, and I don't mind renting it. We're gonna continue to rent it through wedding day probably, and then we might start looking for something new. I don't know. Kyle might come home and want to start looking for something new in the middle of July, and then like we'll figure out how to get out of our lease. But this is our second year here, so I love it. Harold we discovered when we first moved in. So
okay.
And in weird ways. So it was before we had the dog, so it's not like, like the common thing is like Blue does bark at the closets. So like that was a big tell.
Bounces from closet to closet?
No, it's mainly Kyle's closet.
Okay.
So I gave Kyle the closet in the bedroom, and then I took this whole entire room to be my closet. So it's really the closet in the bedroom. You can close it and like firmly, like it's stuck closed, and it opens, and like I'll come back into the room, it's open. And so that closet's backed up. If you like look at it, the closet's backed up to our bedroom door. And so when you try and like walk in that door and the closet's open, the doors collide. So it's like a pain in the ass.
I have the heebie-jeebies.
It's never bothered me. So we think that like I've assessed with like Tamika and like my psychic, because I go to a psychic, because I'm a weirdo like that. Shout out to Amelia. She's fantastic. That's not her real name, but she has a code name for like psychic readings, and then I know her real name too.
Isn't that a code name?
Yeah, because people get weird. So like she has a fake name.
I want a code name.
Jalen is your code name.
Don't tell people on the internet.
No, Amelia is great. She's at Royal Susie if you ever want to go get a reading. She's fantastic. Tamika and I go to her quite often. But we've all just assessed he's like a nice little friendly ghost, but he has beef with Kyle. the vibe that I get, and the reason I named him Harold, is that he's just like this old man that just died in his house peacefully, whatever. It was like his house. Maybe he built it. Um, Amelia believes that I almost keep saying her real name on accident every time. Amelia thinks that like he had a part in like making this house, and he's just like this house is a part of him, and he just sticks around and like he doesn't bother us or anything, but like he's kind of a jokester, and we think that he like has a crush on me because I'm like a pretty young girl and everything, and so he fucks with Kyle a lot. So like there's less activity in the house when Kyle's not home. So like when Kyle's in Iraq and stuff, like
Okay.
I see less. I will say though, I posted a TikTok a couple weeks ago, and it'll be a couple weeks ago when I say this. It was yesterday for me. In the video, the bathroom door closes or the closet closes, and you can see it happening. And like, there's no breeze. Like, I don't have any AC or heat on right now.
Wait, on your TikTok?
Yeah. So, anyways, it's my most recent video. You can see the door; it just kind of closes. No, so he doesn't bother me. I'll let Jordan look at this TikTok before I continue.
Yeah, no, I need to. Hold on.
It's not like as creepy as like this girl commented on the TikTok and was like freaking out, and I was like, you need to relax. It's just Harold. It's just Harold. So it's obviously filmed in bits. I opened the closet to get my brush and my headband out. And like the next clip, this video was actually good. I was happy with this video. It's doing well on the internet.
Yeah, I actually thought this video was so funny. I didn't like it though. I'm fake. I'm sorry.
It was right after I left you guys.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought it was funny.
But yeah, so it's just a closet thing. He loves closets.
But you haven't done any research on Harold.
No, should we do research on
I
Harold?
think you need to.
I don't even know how to do research on Harold. Do we just look at past owners or?
Yeah, look up your address.
Okay. I don't even know. Like, do I have to go to the library for that? It feels like a library.
No, go just Google.
Jordan's gonna do it for me. It's coming up. Hold on. It should.
I want one of those head things.
They're great. I think that's just from Amazon. It's not expensive. The little head wraps. Yeah, it does. It's not a big deal, guys. It's her face.
No way. That wasn't blue?
No, blue doesn't fit in the bathroom when I'm in there. We have a very small bathroom. It's just me in the bathroom. Can you rewind?
I wanted to see her reaction. No one else noticed that.
Anyways,
how many views did that get?
Like 500. I just posted it.
You're famous.
My TikTok does not do well. I don't do well on TikTok. Anyways, so yeah, that girl was really concerned. So Harold just does Harold things. Amelia also like made a note. So like one time when I was in a session, and we were talking about Harold, she like brought Harold into the reading, and she was like, yeah, Harold wants you to know like he really likes you guys, and like he's fine with you guys staying, and he wants you to know that like he respects your privacy, like he never watches you in the shower and change and stuff like that. So he's just like a little old man.
What?
So we love Harold.
Okay.
But when we first moved in, and like I wasn't sure, like before I gave Harold a name and stuff like that, like just weird things were happening. So the closet door always it would be open, and I was getting very upset. Because it's Kyle's closet, and it would cause fights. I'd be like, Kyle, close your closet door. It's like when like they leave the toilet seat up or something like that. Like this was something that I was like, if you don't start fucking closing your closet door, I'm gonna lose my mind. Because every time I'd go into the bedroom, I'd slam the door.
Yeah.
And so I was constantly yelling at him, and he was constantly like, I closed it. I promised I closed it.
Yeah.
Well, Harold was reopening it because he knew it made me mad at Kyle. Then other things started happening, like the car keys would go missing, and like we were sharing in a car, and so like we couldn't find the car keys, and Kyle was lost to drive, and like where are the fucking car keys? And I'm yelling at Kyle, and Kyle's like, I put him where we always put him, like blah blah blah, and then we'd find him under Kyle's pillow. Like, why would Kyle take the car keys into the bed and put them under the pillow?
I can't come back here. I'm scared. I don't know. I'm just nervous.
No, he's just like. I almost said her name again. Amelia and I genuinely believe that he's just like a jokester. He's just like a little old man playing pranks. He's never done anything harmful. Blue, when she first moved in, she had beef with the closet. She barked and growled at it for like maybe like a day or two. And then one time she stuck her nose in it, was growling, and then she yelped and jumped back onto the bed, and she never messed with the closet again, and she has no problems now. So I think it was just like realizing Harold was there, realizing it wasn't a threat, and then like we moved on. So Blue doesn't like do
Do you
anything
think
weird
dogs
anymore.
can see ghosts?
I
You think
do.
babies can see ghosts?
Yeah. Because they're
Well,
more in touch and in tune with that spiritual side that they just came from. They don't have, so we have this thing, I'm probably calling it the wrong thing. Um it's like our fourth or third wall or something like that. Whatever. It's a wall that like and this is my belief, and like I know this people that are religious are gonna disagree with this, but like I believe in the spiritual world, I believe in reincarnation and stuff like that. I believe we have angels on the other side and like people that take care of us. And we have this wall. And people that are very spiritually in tune or like psychics and stuff like that, their wall is very thin and things can come in and out of it and they can see it, they can hear it, they can feel it. But most people have this wall and it's a thick brick wall and you can't feel the things from the other side. But like if you've ever like gotten chills in a very hot room, or if you've ever like that's people coming through your wall. So I think that babies have a lesser wall because they're not hardened by our earth yet. They're new to the plane. They're new to that spiritual sense. And I just think that animals don't have it like we do. Because the way that animals can sense natural disasters first, they can, like, I believe, see ghosts. The way that they're able to, like, be in tune, know when something's about to go wrong. The way that seeing eye dogs can, like, know if you're about to have a heart attack or something like that. Like, it's different. There's just something off there.
Okay.
But no, Blue doesn't have a problem with Harold. They're fine. They chill. It was that first week that she was really weird around the closet, and then she never did it again. But yeah, I haven't had no Harold activity except for that video in the last couple of months because Kyle hasn't been home.
I wonder if you just like don't notice.
I could be like numb to it now, but like nothing moves anymore. The biggest ones that we noticed was things moving in the closet opening.
I kind of imagine him as like a Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
like that's what I'm imagining.
It made me so happy when Amelia was like, no, he's really respectful. He doesn't like go into the bathroom and watch you shower and doesn't like watch you change. Like I was like, we got a respectful ghost. We got a ghost man before his time, you know? Like back then they were all sorts of peeping toms, but no.
What other ghosts
not Harold.
do you have?
Oh, well, I have so many.
Oh my god, okay. I need a good one.
Okay. This is a good one. This one's about my mom's friend.
Okay.
So I don't know if I should say names. Her name's Jenny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a last name, but this was a story my mom told me. So if I don't get all the facts right, I'm sorry. But basically, Jenny's mom died a couple like months or year. I don't know if it was a year or a month before her birthday.
Yeah.
Jenny's birthday. And she was really missing her mom. And she got a text on her birthday from her mom's home phone number. Because this is back in the day of like home phones, but I'll have home phones still. She got a text from her mom's home phone number saying, "Happy birthday. I love you so much. Miss you lots." And she screenshotted it and sent it to her husband. She was like, "Is this a prank? Like, this isn't funny."
Yeah.
And so she has that screenshot to this day. She like sent it to her husband. She's like, "What's this about? Like, I don't understand." She called the phone company. That phone line is disconnected. Nobody else has it. It's not a cell phone number now. Like, nobody has that number. They tried to text it back and everything. Nothing worked. Later that day, like when she was with her husband and not at work, she tried to go and show him again, like, "Oh, here's the text." And the text message was gone, but not the screenshot.
That's
It's the fact that the phone line was disconnected. It gives me chills every time. Like, ugh. So that one was wild. I mean, this is not a good. I think that like just situational things that happen like right before death mean so much, and I feel like we're very either desensitized to it or we ignore it. But like when you think back about like the days before somebody important to you dies or something like that, there's a lot of clues that I think people ignore. So when I was like, I want to say I was like 10, I had a babysitter that she was just really focused on my brother that night. I was the older sibling.
Yeah.
And I had somehow turned on Lifetime, and there's this Lifetime movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I still remember it to this day, like to a T. And I shouldn't have been watching it because it was like definitely TV 14 or something like that, and I was like 10. Like my mom would not have been happy to hear that I was watching this.
Don't listen to this house.
I think my mom knows now because I've like told her this story because
Wait, speaking of her mom, she said the cutest thing to me at your house the other day. She was about to like go back to Colorado, and she's like, "Well, when am I going to see you again?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "Well, I actually feel like I hang out with you like every week." I was like, "I love you." She's like, "And unless Gabby tells me that I can't watch it," or listen to it or whatever.
I tell her sometimes. I've told her from the beginning you can't watch it, and she's ignored me blatantly at the start. So I think sometimes she forgets, and then she has to go back. And like, I don't think I love you. We're gonna shit talk. I don't think she knows how to go back and watch old episodes. If it didn't appear like in her subscriptions, she didn't watch it. I don't think she knows how to like do that. So like, and she's a YouTube watcher.
Yeah.
So like, she likes to see us.
I think we have quite a few that really enjoy the YouTube because it really is so much more entertaining.
Well, and I feel like we've mentioned it enough now that like 4 of our girlies that normally like we're just listening on Apple, they recently switched to YouTube, and they'll send us pictures of them laying in bed watching it. I just think that's hilarious.
It's just so funny.
It's like girls' night.
Yeah,
we're all hanging out there. But no. So my mom would not be happy I was watching it. It was and I'm going to describe it, and I hope somebody out there is like, I know exactly what movie you're talking about because I can't remember what it's called. But it was about this girl and this guy, and like they meet, and they keep reliving the same day because at the end of the day, they get in a car accident and one of them dies. Or like the man dies every time. And she's trying to like make it where the man doesn't die. And at the end of the movie, I think she ends up like, she fixes it by killing herself, and then like neither of them make it. Or like, I don't know, something weird. But it's like she's reliving this day. And there's after this sex scene, they're laying in front of this fire pit, and he or she asks him, if it was your last day on earth, what would you do? And I don't know why, but as a child, that like clicked in my brain. It burrowed in, it dug in, and it was like, that's important to me. Yeah. So the next day, I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, if you were going to die tomorrow, which is a 10-year-old, like that's a very weird thing to say. If you're going to die tomorrow, what would you do? And she goes on this list. She's like, well, I'd hang out with you guys. I'd like have some ice cream. She's like, big ice cream girl. She used to, her dad used to own Baskin Robbins. So like, I don't know if you knew that about my mom. She's a real good ice cream scooper. Like she gets the good ones, the good balls.
Well, I used to work at Bacon Babes.
No wonder you guys get along.
I used to swirl it.
No wonder you get along. But no, so I asked her that, and she said, like, ice cream, hang out with you guys. And she goes, and I go and see the play Wicked with my mom because that's my favorite play.
I love Wicked.
They're coming.
They're
coming in
March to the
Are we
Strat
going?
Center.
Are we going?
Wait, I did not know you liked Wicked.
I'm mad that I'm not at Hamilton right now. I'm a big Broadway galley. Wicked's my favorite play.
Okay, so I'm not huge on Broadway, but
you like Wicked.
Yes.
My favorite
but
play.
you've seen it on Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
So good.
Okay, I know Rachel wants to go. I think Courtney said she wants to go, so like let's just get a group.
So much.
But yeah, no, so Wicked's like our family's favorite play. Like that's like it was my grandma's favorite play, it's my mom's favorite, it's mine. So she says, oh, and I'd go see Wicked with your grandma.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I think like 2 or 3 days passed. And we're at the grocery store, and I remember vividly, it's like a core memory, which is always so sad when like this is a core memory. But like I was tugging on my mom's arm because I wanted her to buy ramen noodles, but she was on the phone. And she was ignoring me, and we weren't allowed to have ramen. So I was like trying to sneak it in the basket. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, she starts bawling, drops the cart, grabs us, and like pulls us out in the parking lot for a Target. And it was her sister on the phone. Yeah. And her mom had just passed away. And later learning the details, which my mom didn't tell me until I was older, my grandmother had gone to Wicked the night before. And she had sat down at her computer the next morning and was typing an email to my mom about Wicked. And how great it was and how she wished she had been there and that it was just the best night ever. And then she died of an aneurysm before she could send it. So they found her at the computer typing that email to my mom.
Shut up. That's crazy.
And like I had asked that only a couple days before, and my mom had said that that would be her last day on earth.
That's wild.
It makes me like
my God.
Chills. Ugh. So like just those things. Like I think we ignore a lot of those things. We don't see it. But so that was a weird one. I had this, I know she doesn't listen to my podcast, but I love her. My high school Spanish teacher, who I had for 3 years out of high school, a gem, Miss Camerata, Nicole Camerata. We also, through high school, we had this probably wasn't appropriate, but like we went and got our nails done after school together. It was her and Miss Vocali, who was another Spanish teacher, would meet my friend Brina and I at the nail salon. We just, like, we didn't go together, but, like, we'd casually, like, make sure we all had the same appointment at the same time. So I was, like, constantly getting my nails done with Cams every week. So we were tight. We were pretty we're friends on Facebook. I hope she's doing well out there. she had 2 ghost stories that were wild, and she always told them at Halloween to everybody. And so, like, it makes me wonder how much, like, one of them is true, but one I know for sure is like true. So she had this childhood friend. His name was Lars, and he was like German or something like that.
I was gonna say that's a different name.
He and they were like best friends all through high school, and like she was very much in love with him. She will tell you. And he went off and joined the military after high school, and he ended up dying in the military. And she just has had multiple things where she's told where it's like one day she was walking down the streets in New Orleans, and the psychic was like, "Hey, like," she said something along the lines of like, "Who's the tall blonde man with you?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like she was with her other friends, and like the psychic could see Lars, and like it was so weird. And like I guess a couple of months before that, she had been looking for all the letters he had wrote her, and she couldn't find him anywhere. And then the psychic looked at her and said, "Check like the left corner of the closet." And then she went home and like she checked the left corner of the closet, and the letters were there. And then the next day, she woke up and she saw him on the end of his bed. Like it was wild. So like there was like stuff like that, but the one that was the creepiest and gave me chills is not her story. She said it was a friend of a friend's story, and I don't know how much it's true or just like a wise tale or something like that, but I'm going to tell it because it's just such an entertaining story. So there was this family, and they moved onto a military base in Colorado Springs, and they were in military housing. And they started to notice a lot of things moving, going missing, kind of like what Harold does, but it started mild and it wasn't a big deal. Well, then like they'd started to see like a sandwich being made and there was like a bite out of it and stuff like that, like weird things. And then they noticed that there were scratches all over their bodies and like things like that. And it was just like really weirding them out. So they at first they were very, I guess the husband was very logical and he was like, "Oh, I don't believe in ghosts. Like this is a ghost thing. Like somebody's breaking into the house and fucking with us." Which I still don't know how you get scratches on your body.
Someone's
like,
just sneaking in, scratching you all up, and then sneaking tiptoeing on out.
Well, it's like, so their final straw was that time that they found the sandwich.
Yeah.
And like reminding you, like they're working for the government. So like they have protocols on base and stuff where they can like test certain things. And like when they swore somebody had broken into the house, there was a half-eaten sandwich. They they like took the sandwich as evidence, like basted. And they were like officially like their kids were being marked up too, and like so now they were getting accused of abuse. Like it was really really bad. Well, finally they were like, well, we're gonna test the sandwich because if there's a bite out of it, there should be DNA on the sandwich. Well, they tested it, and all that they said, which is so like this can get us into conspiracy theories too, of like the government knowing more than like what we know. All that the government or all that the base cops told him was like, this bite is not human. Get out of the house. So they moved him to a different house on base, and it got worse. Like bruises and like physical marks. And finally, like they consulted with like priest and a psychic, and I guess they told him basically like, you need to leave. You need to leave with none of your stuff. Like whatever this is connected to something you own or you guys. So the only way to get rid of like what it is would be to leave and never tell anybody where you're going and disappear. And nobody ever heard from that family again. And I guess that family was like a friend of Cam's. And she was like, yeah, we never heard from them again. And they just left. And I was wondering, like, did it stop or did it continue for them? Or like, we'll never know.
Share this episode. I need to know. Like, I need an update.
Someone find the family. Watch it not be a true story.
Damn.
I don't know. I always wonder with that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, I know in a previous episode, we talked about the cannibal story. And it's like, how much of those are actually really real if I had that same story in a completely different setting than you did, sort of vibe.
Or like, it was altered.
Yeah.
Like, how much do people like...
Like, where is the truth in it?
Yeah.
But...
Is it true? Was it true?
Is the whole, it's not human bite. Like, is that true? Like, that's the creepiest part of it, but like, is that not true?
I don't know. I think that kind of goes into, like, when I hear, like, not human, I think of national parks.
Like, national parks?
Yeah, like national forests, like in the U.S.
Yeah, what about them?
Like, all the conspiracies with those.
Like, people going missing there?
People going missing, the staircases there, like, the weird sightings, yeah.
Wow, I need you to talk about that. Wait, fill me
I
in.
literally feel like I sound like I belong in a mental hospital.
Jordan
Sometimes.
belongs in a bunker in the ground.
Literally, I do.
Wait, no, tell me about that because I'm curious.
I mean, we can really get into it. Like, I need to
Well,
come
I know
with like
that
more
there's like
like names and like situations, but there's obviously the people that go missing. Like hundreds of thousands of people go missing at national parks and never to be seen again.
yeah.
And then there's the sightings of like the giants or whatever.
There's the one in Washington I know that it's like notorious for like it's like what like 5 people go missing every year there. It's like an insane number.
So there's also these like staircases like in the middle that are like concrete. Have you never seen those pictures?
No.
Okay, yeah. So there's like these staircases and they're not like huge staircases. It's like, I don't know, a floor, but then they stop. But like apparently you're not supposed to go on those.
Why?
Because you'll disappear.
So that's where people are disappearing. Do you think it's aliens? Is it
This goes back into reptilians and people that are not human.
aliens? Okay, so
Yes. But I also think national forests are so big. Like, yeah, like you can go, I don't know, to Utah or wherever and go visit a national forest and like be safe.
okay.
But it's the people that go to explore deep in the national forest.
So what you're telling me is I'm just so lucky that I made it through van life without dying because I visited almost all of our national parks.
But I don't think you're walking through like side to side, like the whole thing. Like I think that national forests are so large that they're keeping stuff there.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, speed round. Okay, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you believe in government conspiracy theories?
Yes.
Do you believe that the government knows about aliens?
Yeah.
Do you believe the government knows about ghosts?
Yes.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
Okay. Those are all my questions. That is all. I don't need any like understanding of why those answers. I just needed to know.
Just need the answers.
Yeah. Now aliens are a weird one. It's something that I haven't looked into or know much about, but I do believe that it would be very silly to think that there isn't life on other planets. Why are we the anomaly?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
I think aliens definitely live on Earth.
Okay.
And they're not the aliens that we've been conditioned to believe since we were like 5 years old. You know, the green, googly eyed, bobblehead things.
No, I think they look similar to us.
Yeah.
And that's why like I think alien's the wrong term. I feel like it's us in different universes. We want to mind fuck.
Or different portals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you want to mind fuck right now. I was thinking, who was I talking to a couple days ago that I was like, we were talking about this and then we both got our minds blown so hard that we were like, we can't think about this right now because our brains will combust.
Yeah.
The reality of that there's infinite amount of you, but in other universes, you make different decisions. So you live a completely different life in another universe because you've made the opposite decision. So like if I had the choice of marry Kyle, don't marry Kyle, in this universe I'm marrying Kyle. But in another universe, I don't marry Kyle. And then that leads to a different path. And then you do this choice or this choice. But then that splits into another universe. So like it's a tree effect. So like if there's two of me and me.
Yeah.
I marry Kyle, I don't marry Kyle. Then this universe, I have two choices. And then that splits. And then this one splits. And then this one splits. And it just keeps going and going. And it would mean that you have infinite amounts of yourself with every choice you make. And we were reading something on that and how like that's how they believe that our not galaxies, our dimensions work.
Yeah.
Like they always like say that dimensions are like stacked. And like that would be how a dimension works.
There are people out there who claim that they can
dimension hop?
Yeah, but they can like there's a specific word for it, but they can force a glitch, and I'm using quotations. If you're listening to this, I'm using quotes. They can force a glitch in the simulation.
Okay, wait, I remember who I was talking to about it, and I'm gonna share her story. So Tamika, it was Tamika.
Yeah. I was talking to someone, Tamika. It was Tamika. Tamika told me this.
Well, we talk about Tamika at least like once an episode, and I tell her every time that I get to the store, I was like, "Oh, we talked about you today," and yet she still doesn't listen to the podcast. So fake friend, and I can say fake friend because she's never gonna listen. I literally all of her friends listen to our podcast,
That's
but
funny.
not Tamika.
That's really
So
funny.
dragons, if you're listening, fake friend. Tamika's fake friend. Anyways, so Tamika and I were talking about this. She had a dream the other day, but she's talking about to Amelia about it.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it felt really, really real. And so, like at first, she's like, "Oh, I'm lucid dreaming," but then she talked to Amelia about it, and she's like, "No, no, no, you were dimension hopping." Okay, because Tamika's very, as much as she doesn't want to be, Tamika's very in touch with the other side. Her wall is very down. So
Okay.
Tamika sees ghosts. It's why Tamika doesn't sleep. It's why Tamika has to, pop an edible every now and then to go to bed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the internet, am I?
I mean, it's legal in most states, right?
It's also she has med cards, so it's legal. But she has to self medicate to go to bed because she can't sleep because she sees ghosts almost every day. Like they hang out in her room. It's very scary because they don't talk to her and they don't say anything. And I've always told her, I was like, if you get them to talk to you, it might be a little less scary. Like if it's just somebody sitting there and they like just want to talk, like maybe that could be. And I know like she's talked about like wanting to work with a psychic on like maybe learning how to talk to them, but she doesn't know how. And they just sit there and they stare at her and they don't say anything. And it's really creepy. And it scares the crap out of her and it makes me so sad. But she has a gift and an ability with that. And I think something else is unlocked in her recently because all of a sudden she's having these very, very vivid dreams where she's somewhere like in her hometown, but like at a restaurant she's never seen or never heard of, or like out of all the years she's lived there, like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, well, do you think it's like a deja vu memory of like when you were a kid? And she's like, no, no, like I'll be my age, I'll be with my mom, and we'll be somewhere in Gadsden and I'll recognize the street, but that restaurant doesn't exist. And Amelia told her she's dimension hopping and it's her in other dimensions.
I have chills.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And
Probably.
I kind of believe it because like Tamika's like it's just too real. It's just not a dream, and it'll be like random times.
Have you ever lucid dreamt before?
I get really bad sleep paralysis, so yes. Sleep paralysis is the scariest thing in the world because like you hear things. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
If anything, I see my blank room, and then I hear things as if somebody's outside the door, or like, and it's terrifying, and I can't move. I really hate it. I don't get it as much anymore. Um, I also occasionally, it's not terrible anymore, but I used to get really bad nightmares and like wake Kyle up in the middle of the night really bad. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I'm not anywhere, which is so funny because like I'm a spiritual little girly, but I'm not anywhere close as powerful as Tamika is when it comes to this kind of stuff. She's just got something going on there. I don't know what it is, but
Questions.
you should sit down
Come
with her and talk
over.
about it. We could. I mean, one day, eventually, hopefully, we'll do an astrology kind of section, and we can talk about that. We should have.
No,
We should have Amelia
I
on.
want to talk about her mind.
We should have Amelia on.
Yeah. Do you think she could like? What does she do? Readings? Is that what they're called?
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Oh, they're open today. She's
Are
there
they?
Sundays.
How much is it? How much is a reading?
I think it's 100.
Oh, that's oof. No, not
It's
yet.
pricey, but like that's like my form of therapy. I go like once a month.
I really want to do. I think I've told you this
Let
a
me
million
see.
times. I want to do a past life reading.
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't think she really does that. I have yet to find anybody I love.
I
That does
have
that.
not been in the camera this whole time. Sorry, you two people.
Wait, but it spreads more.
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
it?
you're
Yeah,
right.
I think you're right.
If you know anyone who does, I need like someone like legit to do a past life reading.
So I went to somebody over in Clearwater years ago, and I didn't dislike my experience, but like, and some of it felt really real and cool, but like some of it I was kind of like, so she like basically hypnotized me, but I didn't feel like I was fully hypnotized. And then she guides you through things, and you actually tell your own past lives. And I did like some things came out of my mouth, and I was like, why did I say that? And that was a weird experience. But other times I felt like I was just like making up my own storyline.
Wait, hold on. We need to rewind because now my mind's turning. You are not religious, but you're spiritual.
Yeah, I think that I think the difference is I view religion differently than people. So like religion, like if you believe in something, I'm against organized religion.
Okay.
I think believing in anything is spiritual.
Okay.
Or like my my religion. I think religion should be personal, and we've put it into these brackets that you have to believe all of this if you're a Catholic. You have to believe all of this if you're a Muslim. You have to believe all of this if you're Jewish. And I grew up in a Jewish Catholic household, and those are two very strict religions, and it turned me off, and I just don't agree with it. Kyle comes from a very strict religious background too, and he also doesn't agree with it. I did a lot of exploring on my own to decide where I came from and my beliefs. My strong belief in astrology comes from a place of science, actually. Like, people have a hard time like wrapping their heads around it, but astrology is legitimately science. It's the same way that it's not a secret. Nobody's like denying it unless you're like a fucking flat earther. But like the moon and the sun and how we orbit, it affects our tides, and it affects our like planets and our nights and our days. All of that's affected by the planets, right? That's science. Well, astrology, if you're born on a day at a time where the sun is here, the moon is here, the planets are here, the tides are here and here, that would we're made up. The tides are the biggest part of what's controlled by our planetary system. Like, water is the most controlled thing on our planet by other things, like the most influenced. So we're made of what, 90% of water?
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that the moons and the planets and all that can control our tides and our oceans, but doesn't control us? That's
They
weird to me.
say that all billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires,
Mhm.
are so in touch with astrology, like
They
more
have personal
than anyone,
astrologers, and yeah.
because they've gotten to that point because they understand themselves and their emotions
Okay, so
and
here's
people
my
around them.
here's my shameless plug. You want to be a billionaire in 2023? Hire me as your full-time astrologer. It's my favorite thing
Okay,
to
wait.
do. I'm so
But we need
passionate
to go
about
back to
it.
my question. So, okay, now I understand that. Do you believe in like a devil?
No,
Okay. Do you think that people in Hollywood believe in like a god and a devil?
I believe they've got some weird freaky shit going on that I have no idea about, but I think it's satanic.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think
So,
satanic
yeah,
in that kind of level, that's not, I don't believe in a devil. I believe that like there's things that are just satanic, and it's satanic like core and spirituality and ritualistic, but it doesn't mean that I think that like there's a man pulling the strings behind there and that's the devil. Like, no.
not like a fictional sense. Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
Like, I like when you hear the word devil, you think like, the red like
Yeah.
horn, like not in that sense, more of like a devil inside of you.
I
Not you, not me, but
yeah. I'm trying to like figure out not only like how to phrase it, but like what my thought process actually is on that. Do I believe some people are inherently bad? Yes. Um, I think the hard part is deciding where I think that comes from. Like, is I don't know, because I do believe that some people are born inherently bad. Like, I don't think it's necessarily that takes us back to like our last or our episode a couple weeks ago, nature versus nurture. Like, yes, some people like they become bad because of their experiences, but I do think that some people are just born bad. I think that here's my answer to that. I think that our world, our galaxy, our dimensions have a way of balance. Like, just like in nature, we see balance all the time. When things die, things are born. Like, there's balance everywhere. I think that there has to be bad in order to have good. If you took away all bad things, I don't think good would exist. So I think that it's nature's way of having balance. We have to have some bad people in this world to have balance. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I think there's like a scientific piece to it, which once again, so like that's I think my point there with astrology is like people love to say it's not science, but like all of the beliefs I do have are based technically on science or things we're starting to prove or have proved or like I can see makes sense in a scientific way. And I think that's where like my satanic place would come from. I believe in nature and the balance of nature and like the balancing laws of nature's laws and stuff like that. And I feel like you can't have good without bad. So I understand where that satanic principle comes from. But do I think there's actually like a Satan? No. But I also don't think there's a God. And I know I might get some heat for that. But I don't believe in God. I believe in like the universe. But some people might consider the universe is God. But I don't think the universe is a person. I think the universe is just this big web that we'll never understand that balances all things.
So do you think you just reincarnate forever?
No, I think eventually you reach a point of like you've learned your life lessons. Like goes back to that balance thing. I think you have to create your own equilibrium and your own balance. And once you've done that, I think you just cease to exist, which is kind of morbid, but like I just think we cease to exist.
Okay.
I don't know. That's like something I guess, and I'm wondering if this is like my life to not worry about that because like I know a lot of people like are so worried about death and like what happens after death and stuff. I don't think about it at all. I've never been the child or the person that like was like afraid of death, worried about death, wondering what comes after it. I've never questioned it. I just am kind of like it happens. I'm I have very little trust in a lot of things and a lot of people and a lot of like life daily stuff. But I have full trust in the universe that like whatever happens after death is supposed to happen. Like we all do it. It's not like I'm an individual. It's not like I think what scares me more is the mode of death. Like, will I be murdered? Will I like that kind of stuff? But the actual act of death does not scare me because we all do it. And how can something that we all do be that bad? Like not all of us are murdered, not all of us, drown. That would suck. But we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of death?
Am I afraid of death? I think I'm afraid of dying too young.
I always felt like when I was a kid I was gonna die young. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but I always just like I can never see myself getting older. Like the fact that I'm even getting married, like sometimes so hard for me to comprehend. Because I'm like, wow, I didn't think I would do that.
Getting older is truly like it terrifies me. Like becoming like 70 years old.
Can we podcast?
Like I'm literally like sick to my stomach, like thinking about it. Like I think I'm gonna go throw up.
I think that we should do a reunion episode at 70 if we're not still doing this. And by then, all those times that you sit there and you're like, I can't, they're gonna think I'm a crazy person. You won't care anymore.
No, because it'll all come true. You'll see.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be my favorite season yet. Well, we got really deep today.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
sure. You might hate us after this. We might lose
we might lose followers.
I think we might.
or we might gain the right followers. Who knows?
I feel like the clickbait for these episodes is just gonna be.
Wait, can we talk about the clickbait from that naked episode?
So our best episode to ever perform on YouTube, it was the one that was naked but not afraid, and it's because everybody was looking up naked and afraid, and we just happened to appear in people's searches.
Just naked, right?
Yeah.
Just like
the words
naked.
that worked for it was naked, and so we were appearing in naked searches, which is funny because that day we were very clothed.
I just feel like every video we post from now on has to have naked in the first, like first word.
And eating a taco, naked, and hanging with my friend, naked, and talking about conspiracy theories. What if our whole theme
naked conspiracy theories?
Oh my god! What if we just started wearing only nude? And we like called ourselves Naked Ant.
Like those like spandex like onesies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get those.
What if we rebranded and we're called Naked Ant? And then
wait.
Naked and
for our conspiracy theory episodes, I think we should get alien costumes.
BRB, we gotta go buy alien costumes. Adios. It's been real good. We're hanging up now. You're done. Straight to jail. Straight to jail.